Life's a puzzle piece, no light in the sky. Finding patterns in the stars, corners turning so high. Hosted by the constellations, deeper I sigh. Aiming for clarity, Lord knows I try. 369, the dimensions align. Tarot cards that spread new destinies define. Reading truths and shadows, future so refined. Context makes the chaos surprisingly kind. Context, baby, put it all in line. Dimensions we cross, running out of time. Prelude terror, show me all the signs. Dreamy rhythm takes us on a mystic climb. Unveiling secrets, the cosmos unfold. In the cards, the stories told, whispers bold. Context, baby, put it all in line. Dimensions we cross, running out of time.
Oh, it go back to that message I sent you. I was like, I got a theory on the astrology chart.
What was that? What was the theory?
It feels like it's a script, but in order to understand what I'm talking about, you got to watch that movie Westworld. It's like a TV series.
But so yeah, I'll watch. I'm gonna have to watch that Westworld. What was that? Is that on HBO? Was that HBO?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I have that. So I'll watch it.
One of the robots doesn't know she's a robot. And it's like she become conscious. And this dude is trying to tell her, like, you're a robot. Everything you're saying is a script. And she was like, no, it ain't. I'm saying these are my thoughts. And as she's saying it, he's holding up this like an iPad showing her, like, as she's speaking, the words are popping up on the screen. And it's fucking her up, and it made her glitch.
I bet it did.
So that's like, when I looked at my astral chart, I'm just like, that kind of proves my theory, because I believe, like, we project this world. Everything makes sense on purpose. Because I think it changed. I don't think my astral chart state is the same.
What do you mean that it changed? Like your birthday changed? Like, what do you mean by that?
I think the Mandela effect affects everything.
Do you think it affected, like, okay, so can you explain, like, in what way? Like, what do you mean?
Okay, so Mandela effect. There's people that remember certain things and other people that don't. So what is the whole purpose of the Mandela effect? It's almost like it's rewriting or reprogramming whatever simulation that we're in to where it changes things. Just like if I were to go into my computer and change the script for a program for a video game to run a certain way, if I change the character in a game and I want his face to be orange instead of purple, that's changing the script. So it's like we're in this simulation almost where these Mandela effects happen. I think that Mandela effect, not just people are dead and back alive again. I think information changes. Stuff that we were taught isn't the same anymore. It adapts to whatever the program is.
Can I ask you two things? And honestly, we might have already talked about it, but just to refresh my memory, did we talk about, or let me ask you, actually, do you remember Sinbad, like the comedian? Do you remember him passing away?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, because I do. And then do you remember, I don't know if they had this out when you were a kid, but when I was a kid, they used to have this marshmallow, like, spread, and it was called Jiffy. I know that it was called Jiffy because it was called Jiffy. Like, I remember being a kid looking at the Jiffy, but that's Jif. Do you know what I'm talking about at all?
Yeah, because I remember the Jiffy commercials.
Okay, so you remember that.
And I think I told you about that that space shuttle that exploded.
You did. You did. So then let me ask you this. So you think that a program by some other power, the reason why these things are a thing where it's like we can clearly remember the Jiffy, we can clearly remember this, we can clearly remember that, but that's not the case because somebody went in and said backspace, control alt delete, something, 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 and then restart. And then if that's the case, like, is this something that happens collectively? Like, we just don't know. We just chilling. We going about our lives and then somehow we get paused for like 3 seconds and then everything reboots, but we don't know? Or like, how does that work?
That's how I kind of picture it, but I just know that certain people or certain entities, they can never be programmed. Like that's a part of this matrix, and that's a part of like governing bodies like the United States. They know that certain people cannot be programmed, no matter what you tell them, no matter what you know, whatever propaganda they make. So I think the certain people that are aware of the glitches and deja vus and all these Mandela effects, I think that's part of the population that can't be programmed all the way or programmed at all. So I think those are the ones that are noticing it, like, okay, something's happening, but you know, it's almost like the background people never really notice it. They just go about their day. You can tell, you know how you can tell certain people and they just kind of like, oh wow, really? And then they just start talking about, go back into something else. They don't really want to hear what you're talking about
at all. And I be trying to like put in compelling things, and they be like, well, you know, this and this and this and this and this, and it's just like, okay. All right. Yes, I do. And it be hurting my feelings. Those people I care about, like, please. History has been rewritten so many times as far as like this country is concerned, like so many times. So there's that. So I don't know. That's not a rabbit hole that I've gone down very far. So I don't really know why that would be, other than at a very basic level, it's part of a plan.
Everything in the Western world is basically studying and suppressing. It's basically studying the people, psychology, and they're suppressing it for a reason, because just think if hundreds of kids are born, you know, every day, and those that retain their memory can undo what's actually suppressing them. They can tell you like, hey, you know, money isn't real. There's other ways of doing things. Then you wouldn't have a government. So there is some type of opposition suppressing those memories for a reason. That's why they, you know, teach you they make you go to school, start teaching you certain behaviors. They teach you certain emotional responses that you're supposed to do. So it's like you're retaught and reprogrammed as soon as you come back to another life.
I can't say that I remember anything from another life, but I can remember a distinct memory that I have. I think I might have been like, I couldn't have been older than 7, just because thinking about where we lived at the time. But I remember having a moment like looking outside my bedroom window, and I was repeating to myself, like, I'm me. So this is me, like, I'm me. And me at like 7 years old having like a realization, wait, so this is, I guess this is life, I guess. Like, so I'm my own like individual person. I guess I just been kind of going along, and I almost want to say it might have been like an autopilot thing. And that was at that moment, which is interesting, because now that I think about it, I was that age when that's how old I was when I first started seeing the 333. That's interesting. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know. Like, I don't have any memory of anything prior, but I do remember very distinctly just sitting, like, looking out the window and then just sitting, like, so what does this even mean? What does this even mean? And then not really being able to articulate that. That's a really interesting memory, but I don't know what triggered it. I don't know. Yeah, there's nothing that I can think of that sticks out other than that day. Not like I even the same sense. It's a realization like, okay, so I can do my own thing. I can make my own choices. Okay, I guess this is what we're doing. So yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
Watch A Pretty Little Tarot now on YouTube at A Pretty Little Tarot 333. For personal reads, email aprettylittletarot333@gmail.com.
For video editing, shorts, thumbnails, and business card design, contact 369consult@gmail.com.
369 Merch. Link in description. Scan QR code now.